Okay, I'm 50-50 on watching the debate because I do want to watch it and I do think that it would be entertaining. But I don't know if you guys would rather do that or continue watching the coverage that we've been watching and staying up to date on that. I'll still have the live streams open in case any breaking news occurs. But I was thinking what we can do is we can start watching it, and if it's Resident Sleepers, we can dip. And if it's not, then we can keep watching. Just watch at least the first. I definitely want to watch at least the first question because I know they asked about Iran in the very first question. So I was thinking maybe we could do that. Again, like I said, I have the live streams open on the side in case anything breaking occurs. But let's see. BP debate. Debate was boring. You'd be better off watching clips after the first section. Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let's watch this. Let's watch the Iran question.
Tonight, our country is facing several unfolding crises. The Middle East is on the brink of war. Americans are suffering from the catastrophic impact of Hurricane Helene. And now a labor strike as 25,000 dock workers from Maine to Texas are picketing. We're going to begin tonight with the Middle East. Margaret.
Thank you, Nora. Earlier today, Iran launched its largest attack yet on Israel, but that attack failed, thanks to joint U.S. and Israeli defensive action. President Biden has deployed more than 40,000 U.S. military personnel and assets to that region over the past year to try to prevent a regional war. Iran is weakened, but the U.S. still considers it the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, and it has drastically reduced the time it would take to develop a nuclear weapon. It is down now to 1 or 2 weeks' time. Governor Walz, if you were the final...
Dude, they're going to have the nuclear weapons in like 5 minutes, man. I cannot believe they have unironically been pushing this narrative for over a decade. We are 1 week away, guys. Mark your calendar. We are any second now, they are going to have nuclear weapons. About 10 seconds from... Within 45 seconds, they are going to have...
final voice in the Situation Room. Would you support or oppose a preemptive strike by Israel?
Jesus Christ.
On Iran. You have 2 minutes.
Well, thank you. And thank you for those joining at home tonight. Let's keep in mind where this started. October 7th, Hamas terrorists massacred over 14.
Incredible. Amazing. 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 The conflict started on October 7th. If you didn't know that, October 7th. October 7th is when the conflict started. There was no conflict in the region before October 7th. They all sang Kumbaya and they held hands and everybody loved each other. And it was amazing before October 7th. And then October 7th happened and then they all hated each other. That's the truth.
100 Israelis and took prisoners.
What the fuck is this name, dude? Circumcision cop. What the fuck? Yeah. Pushed back longer than Stalker 2 release. Damn, you are suffering. Holy shit. Looking out for Stalker 2. Whoa. Woof, bro. Anyway, do you want to glass Iran? Yes or no? And if no, why do you support terrorism? Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, that sounds actually about right.
Israel's ability to be able to defend itself is absolutely fundamental. Getting its hostages back, fundamental, and ending the humanitarian crisis in Gaza. But the expansion of Israel and its proxies is an absolute fundamental necessity for the United States to have the steady leadership there. You saw it experienced today, where along with our Israeli partners and our coalition, able to stop the incoming attack. But what's fundamental here is that steady leadership is going to matter. It's clear, and the world saw it on that debate stage a few weeks ago. A nearly 80-year-old Donald Trump talking about crowd sizes is not what we need in this moment. But it's not just that. It's those that were closest to Donald Trump that understand how dangerous he is when the world is this dangerous. His chief of staff, John Kelly, said that he was the most flawed human being he'd ever met. And both of his secretaries of defense and his national security advisors said he should be nowhere near the White House. Now, the person closest to them, Donald Trump, said he's unfit for the highest office. That was Senator Vance. What we've seen...
Amazing. This is the most amazing response I've ever seen. Just to be clear, sorry, circumcision cop, I liked your message. I thought it was very funny. Okay? I think some people in chat didn't realize you were being sarcastic. Guys, this guy has 999 plus messages in chat. If he had said something cringe, I would have seen it by now, okay? I read every message. No message goes unread by me. This is a base chatter, okay? The name Circumcision Cop is a great name, okay? This was very obviously sarcasm. It was good. If you said mean things to this chatter, apologize. He's a good man, okay? Or woman or envy, I don't know. This debate is just two bitches saying exactly. Two dumb bitches, okay? Strawman, thank you for the gift sub. Thank you. Anyways.
Out of Vice President Harris is we've seen steady leadership. We've seen a calmness that is able to draw on the coalitions to bring them together. Understanding that our allies matter. When our allies see Donald Trump turn towards Vladimir Putin, turn towards North Korea, when we start to see that type of fickleness around holding the coalitions together, we will stay committed. And as the Vice President said today we will protect our forces and our allied forces, and there will be consequences.
Governor, your time is up. Senator Vance, the same question. Would you support or oppose a preemptive strike by Israel on Iran? You have 2 minutes.
Do it. Do it. Say you love terrorism. Sorry. Excuse me. I meant terrorism by the United States. Excuse me. Sorry. I always just assume everybody else considers the United States to be a terrorist country. The way that we use our military. And I forgot that terrorism is used to refer to brown people. Sorry.
So, Margaret, I want to answer the question. First of all, thanks, Governor. Thanks to CBS for hosting the debate. And thanks, most importantly, to the American people who are watching this evening and caring enough about this country to pay attention to this vice presidential debate. I want to answer the question, but I want to actually give an introduction to myself a little bit because I recognize a lot of Americans don't know who either one of us are. I was raised in a working class family. My mother required food assistance for periods of her life. My grandmother required Social Security help to raise me. And she raised me in part because my own mother struggled with addiction for a big chunk of my early life. I went to college on the GI Bill after I enlisted in the Marine Corps and served in Iraq. And so I stand here asking to be your vice president with extraordinary gratitude for this country, for the American dream that made it possible for me to live my dreams. And most importantly, I know that a lot of you are worried about the chaos in the world and the feeling that the American dream is unattainable. I want to try to convince you tonight over the next 90 minutes that if we get better leadership in the White House, if we get Donald Trump back in the White House, the American dream is going to be attainable once again. Now, to answer this particular question, we have to remember that as much as Governor Walz just accused Donald Trump of being an agent of chaos, Donald Trump actually delivered stability in the world, and he did it by establishing effective deterrence. People were afraid of stepping out of line. Iran, which launched this...
I love the Trump handbook, which is people are so afraid of me that they won't do bad things. This is totally accurate and true.
This attack has received over $100 billion in unfrozen assets thanks to the Kamala Harris administration. What do they use that money for? They use it to buy weapons that they're now launching against our allies.
Do you guys remember when JD Vance was like, no. I think it was JD Vance and Trump, actually, both at different times, when they were like, hey, what would you do about Ukraine and Russia? Do you support Ukraine? I support ending the war. So do you support funding Ukraine and helping Ukraine? I support ending the war. So is that for or against Ukraine? I support ending it as soon as possible. Oh my fucking God, dude. Jesus.
and God forbid, potentially launching against the United
JD Vance, the couch guy? Yeah, this is the couch fucker.
States as well. Donald Trump recognized that for people to fear the United States, you needed peace through strength. They needed to recognize that if they got out of line, the United States global leadership would put stability and peace back in the world. Now, you asked about a preemptive strike, Margaret, and I want to answer the question. Look, it is up to Israel what they think they need to do to keep their country safe, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys. I think that's the right approach to take with the Israel question.
Thank you, Senator. Governor Walz, do you...
What an amazing response. We got to fight the bad guys. The bad guys of a certain complexion, of a certain tone, if you get the idea. The bad guys.
care to respond to any of the allegations?
Well, look, Donald Trump was in office. We'll sometimes hear a revisionist history, but when Donald Trump was in office, it was Donald Trump.
Rabbit vibes. Also, if you took a shot every time Vance mentions his mother's drug addiction, you'd get your own alcohol addiction.
Yay! Live Mize, thank you so much for the 9 months. The best part about the story on like JD Vance's mom getting addicted to drugs is that she was, I believe, a nurse, and she was siphoning drugs at her job. And then she got addicted to the drugs that she stole from her patients. He likes to pretend like she got caught up in some gang violence or some shit, and then she got sold some fentanyl or something, and then it was all over for her. And no, it has nothing to do with fentanyl, has nothing to do with illegal immigrants. She was just like giving herself some drugs at her nurse job. Like, what the fuck? Why are we, what? They were prescription drugs. Like, what are you talking about? She was just abusing her license. I don't know why you're talking about this as if it helps your case. But yeah. Yeah. Vance goes on about how she was a victim. It's just such a joke. It's just a joke. It's such a joke. God. Wait until JD drops the now I'm going to answer your question since you did ask it. Yeah. No, I'm going to be honest. I'm not trying to take you aside. Just curious where you saw that. I can try and find it, but there was this really good report done from a verifiable source talking about how his mom, she ended up losing her job because of the scripts that she was stealing. And it's like on record. Like, this is not, it was not caused by immigrant violence that brought drugs in. I mean, I would steal drugs too if I had to come home to that little blue-eyed weirdo son. Shit, man, if JD Vance was my kid, I would need some drugs to get through the day, actually. I feel like every day I'd be like, can't believe I made that. Oh my God. Mommy needs a Xanax. No, you don't get it. I'm sure his grandma was addicted to drugs because of Haitian immigrants. Yeah. I mean, like, the problem is that he doesn't bring up the story about his mom to talk about how pharmaceutical industries and pharmaceutical drugs are very addictive, and we should do more to make sure that people who shouldn't even be getting access to them are getting access to them, or that we should have better protocols within the like within hospitals or within like medical practices to make sure that every single pill is accounted for. It's not that. It's not, hey, we need to protect these people who get into these positions and then get addicted to these drugs. And there's no one there to check them, so they just keep stealing the drugs until they get caught, right? No, there's no conversation about that, or like a conversation about overprescriptions or something. It's a conversation about immigrants bringing drugs in. It's just fucking stupid. Dave Burb, thank you so much for linking this here. If anyone's curious, going back for half a second. This today.com article talks about JD Vance's mom and her. These headlines are crazy. His father, quote, gave him up for adoption at age 6. And in his memoir, he writes, Dad gave me up for adoption when I was 6. After the adoption, he became kind of a phantom for the next 6 years. I had a few memories of life with him. I knew that he loved Kentucky, its beautiful mountains, and its rolling green horse country. What did I just tell you guys, dude? If I was his mom, I would be taking some drugs, okay? And look, even his dad. Yeah. And then here we have his mother talking about addiction, or his mother dealing with addiction. Beverly Vance, who worked as a nurse, began abusing prescription medications while he was still a child. Later, he learned that she also battled a heroin addiction. Throughout his childhood, her behavior towards him grew increasingly erratic. But here, if you guys want more information or whatever, you guys can read it, look into it a little bit more. Thank you again for linking it, Dave. I got the link. Just know that if the bot ever claps you for sending a link, I see it. It's just to stop other people from spamming links. I think I'm good. I think I'm good on the vice president debate. But you know what you guys are not good on? Top of the hour ad break. That's right. It's coming for your ass. You are absolutely not good. And you will get stuck in ad purgatory. Yeah. Yeah. Finish the answer? No, they switched to another question.